All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're taking a close look at a truly fascinating, completely stress-free framework known as Arithmetools Lab. Now, this isn't your typical commercial software rollout. Actually, it's a system built from the ground up by a father who was desperately searching for a way to reach his child's mind when all standard methodologies had completely failed. He built this specific framework to help children, especially those dealing with developmental delays or severe learning difficulties, finally overcome that massive barrier to the digital world of mathematics. To structure our explainer today, we're going to follow a straightforward roadmap. First, building arithmetic muscles. Then, zero noise and correct answers, followed by the right to make mistakes. After that, building an offline sanctuary, the gradual release model, and finally, infinite practice via YouTube. So let's start right at the beginning with Section 1, Building Arithmetic Muscles, which really is the core philosophy behind Arithmetools Lab. If you've ever watched a struggling child try to navigate a standard, noisy educational app, you already know it almost always leads to cognitive overload and emotional meltdowns. Well, Arithmetools Lab flips that entirely on its head. It relies on one single, unwavering principle designed exclusively for focused daily practice to empower the child. And that principle is constant practice makes the impossible possible. This idea brings us to a brilliant concept they call GPP for the mind. GPP stands for General Physical Preparation. Think about an athlete in a gym. There is just no way an athlete can master a complex gymnastics routine without building basic underlying muscle strength first, right? Similarly, a child absolutely cannot understand complex school mathematics without strong arithmetic muscles. It's crucial to understand that these digital trainers do not replace a teacher. Instead, they provide that missing foundation of automaticity, reaction speed, and absolute confidence when working with numbers. Moving right along to Section 2, Zero Noise and Correct Answers. Let's see how we actually navigate this interface. What's immediately striking is how the entire digital environment is intentionally stripped down to create what we can call digital calm. We're talking zero visual noise. By eliminating all the visual clutter, so no bright, shiny backgrounds, no blaring sound effects, and zero chaotic animations, the child's brain can focus solely on the mathematical task in front of them, entirely avoiding unnecessary stress. Let's actually trace the exact sequence of a correct answer. Phase 1 is the general view. This presents a completely safe workspace for a multi-step problem. There's also a reverse counter up in the corner that starts at 100 and counts down to 0. That counter is a game changer because it grants the child a profound sense of total control. They know exactly where the finish line is. Then we move into Phase 2, which is the input stage. The input field here acts basically as a free scratch pad. The program is incredibly forgiving at this stage. It ignores any intermediate thoughts the child might be working through, and it absolutely does not prematurely correct or interrupt them. It just waits patiently until they press enter. Next up is Phase 3, mandatory self-correction. This is where the child finalizes their thought process by manually typing the exact correct final digit. The physical action of typing that final answer passes the success right through their own fingers, which is absolutely crucial for building deep muscle memory. And finally, upon a correct entry, we hit Phase 4, the photographic visual anchor. The screen literally clears of all user interface elements for exactly 2 seconds. In that brief window, the brain absorbs nothing but the perfectly clean mathematical fact. It's a powerful moment of pure visual reinforcement. Now, let's dive into Section 3, the right to make mistakes, and how this system goes about eliminating the fear of failure. So, what happens when things don't go perfectly? We start that exact same sequence again with the initial multi-step problem, but this time, let's observe exactly how the software handles an incorrect entry without inducing any of that paralyzing fear we see in so many students. If the child types an incorrect digit, I want you to notice what absolutely does not happen. There are no aggressive red crosses flashing on the screen. There are no loud, obnoxious error buzzers designed to induce panic. Instead, the input field instantly clears out, completely preventing panic. Then, a gentle hint appears. A hippo mother shows the exact correct answer for precisely 2 seconds. And here's the genius of it. That seamlessly leads right back into the mandatory self-correction cycle we just talked about. The child manually types the correct digit they just saw, proving to themselves that a mistake is really just a harmless stepping stone to getting it right. All right, Section 4, Building an Offline Sanctuary. This is all about the technical setup required to make this work. Establishing a highly structured physical setup is non-negotiable for this methodology. You need to repurpose an old, dedicated laptop. Think a 15-year-old machine. It must have a working battery so you don't lose the session during a sudden power outage, which would cause huge emotional stress. But most importantly, it must have absolutely zero internet access. No internet means no notifications, no games, and zero external distractions. Paired with that offline laptop, you have to use a standard external keyboard. There are specific keys the child must master. They have to learn to check the numlock indicator. They need to train on the numpad until it's completely automatic. They need to know backspace and delete as their trusted tools for correction, and they must use shift along with the left and right arrow keys for calm navigation. Using an external keyboard protects the actual laptop from emotional wear and tear, and it also lets the parent physically turn the laptop screen away to conduct oral quizzes. Let's transition to Section 5, the gradual release model, which covers the psychological pacing of the program. Now that our offline sanctuary is built, how do we introduce it without overwhelming the child? Well, the framework relies on a strict 4-step gradual release of responsibility model. It perfectly and systematically transitions the workload from 100% adult effort all the way down to 100% child autonomy. You literally walk through these exact 4 steps. Step 1, visualize the goal. You watch the YouTube demo together to resolve the fear of the unknown. Step 2 is the personal example. The adult sits down and solves the first 25 tasks themselves, calming calmly to remove any computer fear. Step 3 is joint action. You do the next 25 tasks together. And finally, step 4, autonomy. The adult steps completely back, and the child completes the final 50 tasks entirely independently, which earns them a massive, profound sense of personal victory. Which brings us to our final part, Section 6, Infinite Practice via YouTube, the actual distribution engine. I want to explicitly state how you access all this right now. You watch the demo videos on YouTube, and the links located directly under those videos lead to standalone HTML files. Crucially, every single time that HTML file is launched in your browser, it generates a completely new, totally random set of mathematical tasks. It's a true infinite practice generator. Oh, and you absolutely must download the full methodological guide in PDF format to properly understand the pacing and psychology. It's also really important to know that the channel currently contains just the fundamental building blocks. It's the absolute basic foundation. However, many more new tools, complex abstractions, and advanced exercises are in active development and coming very, very soon. So we leave you with this thought to mull over. Standard methods and flashy, loud apps aren't the only way. With immense patience, the right offline sanctuary, and access to stress-free infinite practice, the impossible truly does become possible. Are you ready to help build those arithmetic muscles, download the HTML tools, and permanently transform your child's barrier to mathematics into a bridge of confidence?